Liverpool handed TV money boost as they strive to bridge £60 million gap. Broadcasting rights have long been what underpins spend in the Premier League. When Liverpool published their financial accounts for the year ending May 2020 earlier this year, one of the areas to have suffered the most as a result of the coronavirus pandemic was that of broadcasting rights. The previous financial year, one that included a Champions League winning campaign for Jurgen Klopp's men, had brought in £260.8 million into the club through both the bumper Premier League TV deal domestically and internationally and the Reds' success in Europe. The season before had delivered £220.1 million, with the club having topped the list for broadcasting income for the past 3 seasons. The impact of the pandemic, which forced the pausing of the Premier League campaign for 2 months last year, and saw broadcasters seek rebates from member clubs owing to the disruption to the schedule, took its toll on all clubs. Although Liverpool still came out on top with a media income of £201.6 million. When the financial accounts for the year ending May 2021 are published by clubs later this year and early next. Liverpool will miss out on their title for a 4th consecutive year after their 3rd-placed finish in the Premier League and the likes of Manchester City and Chelsea making it all the way to the Champions League final after the Reds had exited at the quarter-final stage at the hands of Real Madrid. But they still stand to do well from the broadcast deals that are in place after the Premier League managed to bag 2 key deals at home and abroad. As well as the not-so-small matter of Liverpool qualifying for the Champions League for the coming season. Something that had looked in real danger at one point last season as the Reds stumbled into the 2021. Given what had been seen across Europe as a result of the pandemic, where TV companies had been pulling out and withholding payments due. As had been seen in French football with Mediapro. There had been some concern that the 2022-2025 rights cycle in the Premier League would have its value driven down considerably should it go to auction. But as it happened, the league managed to engage the current trio of domestic broadcasters, Sky, BT Sport and Amazon. On the same terms as before, a deal that gave some financial security to clubs for the longer term as the deal with the financial fallout from the pandemic still. The overseas rights, worth around £1.4 billion per year to the Premier League, have been up for grabs for a number of weeks and the league have seen some success that allows them to remain on. A pretty even keel moving into the coming seasons as football looks to feel its way out of the damage caused by COVID-19. There have been some deals that have fallen below what would have been wanted. With the Premier League having sold its rights in the key market of China to streaming platform iQIYI for the next 4 years in a deal which the Times report to be for less than half of the previous bumper deal that had been agreed with the Suning-owned PPTV. That particular deal, worth £543 million over 3 seasons, never ran its course, however. With PPTV not meeting its scheduled payments after the Premier League's COVID-enforced pause last year. With the league forced to act quickly to engage Tencent to fill the void for a reduced fee. But while the deal is less, there is more confidence over it being one that will be reliable. With the uplift in other markets meaning that the overall rights for the overseas market should broadly stay the same. The Premier League, in an effort to try and provide some cost certainty to club owners, had welcomed 3- and 6-year bids from broadcasters for the coming cycle, the first time that they had engaged in such a deal. There were big deals signed, the Premier League selling a 6-year package to Denmark, Finland, Norway and Sweden in a lucrative deal that will run from 2022 to 2028. And there has also been success in selling longer-term rights to the Balkans region through Telekom Serbia in a deal worth around £517 million per year. A figure 10 times higher than what the previous broadcaster, SBB, had been paying. The expectation is that the international media rights, which will also factor in major markets such as the US and the Middle East, will be driven higher and could well surpass what is brought into the Premier League from the domestic deal for the first time. For Liverpool and their rivals that spells good news, and it will also put more emphasis on finishing positions. From the 2019-20 season, the international media rights, which had been previously divided up equally across the member clubs, had been weighted on a sliding scale in terms of where clubs finish in the league. With the biggest clubs having made the argument that it is them that drive the interest and the high prices when it comes to the international TV markets. For the 2019-20 season, while the figures for winning the league weren't included in the Reds' accounts owing to the season completing after the cut-off date for the financial year, Liverpool topped the list, pulling in £174.6 million. That figure was reached through the equal share that all clubs receive of £35 million, payments made for each time the club featured on the TV, facility fees, of £31 million. Merit payments based upon league position of £35.5 million, £5 million from the commercial revenues shared equally across the 20 clubs. And £71.3 million from overseas payments, with the figure on a sliding scale with the Premier League's bottom side getting £44.6 million.